share my story. Let's do that one.
Attention to me, look at your game. Come on, look at your game. Just a little pinch, here we go. All right, ready? Are you doing this because you're scared?
This story is about my disgusting classmate Pablo. He always hit on me, saying things like, "Hey, pretty girl, too bad that your
She does not want you.
parents are poor. But don't worry, I can change that. Just come by my house tonight." It didn't matter
She doesn't even know where your house is, bro.
how many times I told him to stop. It just got worse. And no one did.
Bro, she's telling you to stop, and wow.
To put him in his place because his dad was a powerful politician. You see, I live in Honduras and our government is very corrupt. If you stood up to Pablo, he could tell his dad about it and you would be beaten up or worse. When I was 17, I suddenly developed a water allergy. The doctors didn't know why, but whenever water touched my skin, it burned like acid. I made an announcement to my class.
You actually can be allergic to water.
Telling them to be careful and not to throw any water at me because I'd get badly hurt. But of course, Pablo didn't believe it. He said, "Lily's just looking for an excuse not to have to shower anymore." Then he dipped his fingers into the water bucket and splashed water in my face.
Who would not shower?
I screamed and desperately tried to wipe the water off my face, but it was too late. Small rashes came up all over my skin and it was so painful. Pablo still didn't believe me, though, and said I had created the rashes by scratching my face with my fingernails. Luckily, though, after class was over, my crush, Simon, came over saying, "Sorry that Pablo treats you like that. He's a jerk. Are you okay?" "Oh, sure, I'm fine." Wow, I've had a huge crush on Simon for years, and this was the perfect moment to finally ask him out. By the way, do you want to go to the beach with me this weekend? "Oh, that sounds good, but I already have a girlfriend, so I can't. I'm sorry." Oh, stupid me. Of course he has a girlfriend. Who's the perfect guy, after all? But 2 weeks later, our class took a trip to the beach anyway. I couldn't go into the water because of my allergy, of course, so I only played volleyball with my friends.
But you could just play in the sand.
And that's when Pablo came over. "How are you?" "Fine. What do you want?" "Oh, I still think you're lying about your water allergy, so..." That's when he pulled a water pistol from behind his back and squirted water
in the private area.
It's only worth it if you enjoy it. The Globe Ultra.
Why do they even have that?
water right at my chest. Within seconds, my skin turned red and then I passed out. I woke up again in a hospital where my mom, who told me I had almost died. But guess who else was there? Pablo. I wanted to scream at him to go away, but I was too weak. He said, "I'm so sorry, Lily. I really thought you were joking when you said you were allergic to water. I already told your mom that my dad will pay for your hospital bills, and if there's anything I can do for you, let me know." That piece of garbage. Did he really think he could just say sorry and let his daddy buy his way out of trouble? No way! I pressed the buzzer for the nurse and told her to throw Pablo out of my room. But a couple hours later, he sneaked back in, wearing a cheesy mustache. He also brought roses and apologized over and over again. I gotta admit, it was kinda cute to see how hard he was trying to show he was
cute? Cute? You know what he's been doing to you? Anyways,
sorry. So I let him stay and we ended up watching La La Land on his laptop. Maybe he was a good guy after all.
Wait, is there such thing as La La Land? Hold on. I gotta search this up.
I'm trying to prove to people that they're giving me a chance. To my coaches, teammates, and family that have invested time into me. I strive to be the best version of myself.
Okay, there is a such thing as La La Land.
He even slept on the floor next to my bed at night because he wanted to be near me in case something happened. Well, and then once we walked out of the hospital together, he kissed me, and I let him. I mean, yes, he'd
Oh, no.
been a jerk, but people can change. right? Our first weeks dating were awesome. We hung out at his big mansion that had a tennis court and a private cinema. But over time, his behavior got worse again. He pressured me into wearing sexy clothes and forbid me from seeing my friends. Sometimes he'd even order me to come to his house just so he could make out with me. And once he was done, he would kick me out again. I wasn't going to let him treat me like that. But when I told him
Dump him, break up, and don't even care about his father. Like, just move out. Go to Australia or something.
didn't feel respected and wanted to break up with him, he laughed and said, I don't care how you feel. I promised my dad I'd marry you once I turn 18, and he hates it when people break their promises. So you better play along and be a good, obedient girl. And trust me, if my dad finds out that you dared to break up with me, he'll think you disrespected our family, and he will take revenge.
She is not in your family, bro.
On you.
No, I'm leaving a comment. She is not in your family. Yeah, but keeping that comment in there.
But don't you want to marry a normal girl who isn't allergic to water? You always complain that I smell bad because I can't take showers and have to use powder to clean myself. You are pretty and smart, good enough to give my dad some grandchildren, and good enough to enter.
Do you care about marrying a smart person so you can get good grades? Bruh. And good looking, bruh. Oh my. Everybody doesn't do that. I don't know why I'm talking about that. But for a smart person to cheat like on math tests is like you gotta try hard.
Entertain me for a while. So I stayed with him, even though he openly cheated on me. I would wake up in the middle of the night and
No, dump him, I don't care. Dump him.
our bed and find him making out with another girl. My life sucked bad until I got into university. Because guess
Beat this dude up. Beat him up.
who I met there again? My old high school crush, Simon. We got to talking and I asked if he was still with his old girlfriend. No, I broke up with her after she got drunk at a party and cheated on me. Oh, I'm sorry. But wow, she must be stupid to cheat on you. I mean, you are kind of the perfect boyfriend. That's when
Pay attention to me. Look at your game. Come on, look at your game.
What?
Just a little pinch. Here we go.
Okay, I like this
All right,
one.
ready? Are you wearing this because you're scared?
Scared of what? Scared. Oh, I'm putting it back on. Guys, I'm back in this world now.
Are you ready?
I don't want it.
I can give you 10,000 V-Bucks.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
All right. You're
And it was
all
a-
set.
Bro.
It was a Johnson. Hold on.
Okay.
without saying a
No
word,
word.
Simon pulled me to him and kissed me. I never wanted that kiss to end, but I pushed him away, saying, Sorry, we shouldn't have done this. I'm still with Pablo, and if he finds out about this, you'll be dead. I don't care, Simon replied, and we started dating in secret. For a few months, I thought we'd get away with it. But one night, Pablo asked me, I heard you are close friends with Simon from our high school? What? No! He's just in one of my classes. I hardly know him. But Carlos told me he saw you and him holding hands. I responded, well, maybe Carlos is lying? But I could tell Pablo didn't believe me. You know what I have to do now, and it's all your fault. I started crying, begging him not to hurt Simon, but Pablo pushed me away and ordered 2 of his dad's security guards to follow him. After they left, I ran
You are a psychopath. He is a psychopath.
Simon and told him to immediately leave our city or Pablo would murder him. Simon understood and
Nope. Go. Move out that state.
persuaded me to come with him, so we agreed to meet up at the city bus station. But before I left Pablo's house, I stole 2 small Inca statues. I knew they were made of pure gold, so I hoped they'd helped me and Simon to start a new life. We met at the bus station and fell into each other's arms, kissing passionately. Then we took a bus to Mexico. The whole journey, I worried about Pablo coming after us, but we arrived safely. It took several months to sell the statues, but we got a lot more money for them than I expected. We bought a small house in Mexico, and soon I got pregnant and gave birth to our son. Everything was perfect until one night, masked men broke into our house and took me with them.
No.
Make things worse, I have no idea what they did to Simon and my son. They drove me to a small private airstrip, and that's when I realized that Pablo must have tracked me down and was now bringing me back to Honduras. I cried the whole flight, hoping Simon and my son were still alive.
Go to Australia
Once I arrived, I was picked up by Pablo. He had a big grin on his face and said, "How are you, my sweetheart?" He tried to hug me, but I pushed him away, screaming, "What have you done to Simon and my baby?" Instead of answering, he just smiled and told me to get into his car. I had no choice, so I did what I was told. When we arrived at his house, I immediately felt like a prisoner. "Now that we are finally reunited, I'm gonna marry you as soon as possible. Let's say tomorrow. And before you think of saying no, remember, I know where your mom lives." I was devastated. My son and boyfriend were gone, and now I had to marry Pablo. As a sick joke, he even invited my mom to our wedding. She was very happy to see me marry into a rich family because she didn't know how miserable I was. The ceremony was weird. It was...
No, you gotta break up with him because you're not promising. Okay, you gotta when you have to marry him first, then break up with him because you never promised that.
Only me, Pablo, the pastor, and my mom. At the altar, I asked him, "Why me? Why not some other girl?" "Oh, it's because the more you despise me, the more I feel attracted to you. Now shut up and kiss me." That was the beginning of my
No, hug him instead. Dude.
new life. I was a prisoner in a gilded cage, but actually it wasn't as bad as I had imagined it, because I was still allowed to go out as long as Pablo's bodyguards were with me at all times to make sure I wouldn't run away again. I drove around in armored luxury SUVs to go shopping.
Beat them up. Beat them up.
But it felt wrong spending Pablo's money because my country is so poor, and I hated living in luxury while there were so many kids begging on the streets. Of course, I also didn't forget Simon and my son. I promised myself I'd run away and find out what happened to them, to see if they were still alive. But then the worst thing happened. Pablo had gotten me pregnant. Now I was trapped. There was no way I'd run away and leave my baby with Pablo, but if I took him with me, Pablo would hunt me down again. Luckily, when I gave birth to my second son, Lucas, Pablo's dad, Emmanuel, started spending a lot of time with us because he wanted to get to know his grandson. And as I got to know Emmanuel, I realized that he was actually a very decent man. That's why I told him how his son Pablo was mistreating me. His reaction surprised me. He said, "Yes, I know that my son is an idiot. He doesn't know how to treat a woman right. But I promise that if you raise my grandson well, so he's nothing like his father, I'll make sure he gets my full inheritance." Then he told Pablo to never disrespect me again or he'd regret it. I knew I was part of the family now, and not just some bimbo anymore. Pablo's dad gave me my own house and the baby, as well as a monthly allowance. It's not a bad life, and I love Lucas dearly, but I'm also still thinking a lot about Simon and my first son. I've already tried to contact them, but either they are hiding or dead and in heaven.
Pay attention to me. Look at your game. Come on, look at your game. Just
Okay,
a little
guys.
pinch. Here we go. All right, ready?
Okay, that was the end of the whole video.
This story...
That was the whole thing. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like it too, because I have a lot of videos. I'm still making them. And also, see you all later. Bye.